Size matters, or does it? When you think of NFL players, you probably picture giants, 6'5" linebackers, towering quarterbacks, and wide receivers who could double as skyscrapers. But today, we're flipping the script. We're diving into the stories of the NFL's shortest legends, players who looked the odds in the eye and said, "Bring it on, flex biceps." Some were blazingly fast, others were pure muscle in miniature form. A few were simply too stubborn to give up, and they left a permanent mark on the league. So buckle up. Let's count down the top 10 shortest players in NFL history, the shortest ever. By the end of this video, let's kick things off with a name most people outside of trivia night have never heard, Jack Shapiro. Standing at just 5 feet 1 inch, he's officially the shortest player to ever play in the NFL. Now get this, Jack played one game for the Staten Island Stapletons back in 1929. Yes, that was a real team. Yes, Staten Island had an NFL franchise, briefly. Shapiro's story isn't just about height, it's about representation. A Jewish American during a time of rampant anti-Semitism, Jack was also a war veteran and a college star at NYU. He didn't just fight stereotypes, he bodied them. Viewer prompt, imagine being 5 feet 1 inch and lining up against guys twice your size, would you do it? Comment below if you think Jack would make it in today's NFL. Trindon Holliday, 5 feet 5 inches, the speed demon. If Jack Shapiro was guts and grit, Trindon Holliday was lightning in cleats. At 5 feet 5 inches, Holliday wasn't just small, he was blazing fast. In fact, he won the 100 meters at the NCAA track and field championships before going pro in football. Holliday played for teams like the Broncos and Texans, and made his mark as a return specialist. In one playoff game, he scored 2 return touchdowns, 1 kickoff, 1 punt. That's the kind of performance that gets written into Madden cheat codes. Fun fact, his 10-second 100-meter dash is still one of the fastest by any NFL player ever. What if moment, imagine if Holliday had played in today's Chiefs offense under Andy Reid. Tyreek Hill and Trindon on the same field. Darren Sproles, 5 feet 6 inches, the mighty mouse. You can't talk about short legends without Darren Sproles. Listed at 5 feet 6 inches, he was a powerhouse disguised as a running back. Sproles wasn't just quick, he was everywhere. Running back, returner, receiver, he did it all. He retired with over 19,000 all-purpose yards, ranking 5th all-time. That's ahead of Barry Sanders and LaDainian Tomlinson. And oh, by the way, he was a 4th-round pick because scouts said he was too small to take hits. Newsflash, he played 15 seasons. Behind-the-scenes moment, in one mic'd-up game, teammates nicknamed him Tank, because despite his size, defenders bounced off him. Ask your audience, do you think Sproles deserves a Hall of Fame spot? Let's debate in the comments. Tarik Cohen, 5 feet 6 inches, the human joystick. Next up, we've got Tarik Cohen, another 5 feet 6 inches dynamo, but with a twist. He came out of North Carolina A&T, a small HBCU program. The NFL didn't exactly have their eye on him, until he forced them to look. He earned the nickname the human joystick, because of how he glitched through defenses. In 2018, he racked up over 1,500 all-purpose yards and made the Pro Bowl. But then, tragedy struck. In 2020, he tore his ACL, MCL, and suffered a fractured tibial plateau. Brutal. He's still working on a comeback. Loudspeaker inspiration alert, Cohen's story is a reminder, talent can come from anywhere, and sometimes the fight is just to stay in the game. Maurice Jones-Drew, 5 feet 7 inches, the bowling ball. Let's talk Maurice Jones-Drew, aka MJD. At 5 feet 7 inches, he was built like a fire hydrant with rocket boosters. Drafted by the Jaguars, MJD led the NFL in rushing yards in 2011 and made 3 Pro Bowls. Defenders said he was the hardest guy to bring down because you just couldn't get a clean shot on him. Wild stat, he scored 96 career TDs, more than Hall of Famer Terrell Davis. Hypothetical moment, if MJD played behind today's O-lines, like Philly's or Detroit's, would he lead the league again? Bob Sanders, 5 feet 8 inches, the hitman. At 5 feet 8 inches, Bob Sanders played safety like he was 6 feet 4 inches and bulletproof. A true enforcer for the Indianapolis Colts, Sanders earned the 2007 Defensive Player of the Year, a rare feat for someone under 6 feet tall. Tony Dungy once said Sanders had Ed Reed's instincts and Sean Taylor's aggression. That's high praise. The only problem? Injuries. He missed more games than he played, but when he was healthy, he was dominant. Speech balloon question for the fans: was Bob Sanders the greatest what-if defender of the 2000s? Mark McMillian, 5 feet 7 inches, Mighty Mouse. Nicknamed Mighty Mouse, Mark McMillian played cornerback in an era of huge receivers and even bigger trash talk. But he held his own, and in 1997, he led the league in interception return yards. Oh, and fun fact. He ran a 4.3 40-yard dash, in track spikes at his NFL tryout. Not cleats, track spikes. He's now a popular barbecue chef on Instagram. Because why not? Crazy stat, he had more career INTs than some guys twice his size. Engagement moment, drop a in the chat if you think quick corners like McMillian are underappreciated. Jax Rogers, 5 feet 6 inches, the underdog workhorse. Jax Rogers never got headlines, but he was the ultimate grinder. At just 5 feet 6 inches, he carried Oregon State, then bounced around the NFL as a reliable RB and third down specialist. He once ran for 129 yards against the Panthers, behind a banged-up O-line. NFL Films Gold, a mic'd-up quiz yelling, "They forgot about me." After breaking a 40-yard run is pure motivation. Question for the community: do role players like Jax deserve more credit? Let me know your favorite underrated players. Deonte Harty, formerly Deonte Harris, 5 feet 6 inches, the X Factor. Last but not least, we've got Deonte Harty, one of the best return men in recent years. At 5 feet 6 inches, he went undrafted out of a D2 school, Assumption College. No, seriously. In his rookie season with the Saints, he became All-Pro as a return specialist. Now with the Bills, he's a legit deep threat. Cool stat, he led the NFL in punt return yards as a rookie, outpacing players from schools 50x bigger. Speculation zone, could Harty become Buffalo's secret weapon in the postseason? Deonte Harty, formerly Deonte Harris, 5 feet 6 inches, the X Factor. Last but not least, we've got Deonte Harty, one of the best return men in recent years. At 5 feet 6 inches, he went undrafted out of a D2 school, Assumption College. No, seriously. In his rookie season with the Saints, he became All-Pro as a return specialist. Now with the Bills, he's a legit deep threat. Cool stat, he led the NFL in punt return yards as a rookie, outpacing players from schools 50x bigger. Speculation zone, could Harty become Buffalo's secret weapon in the postseason?